Afternoon, guys. Hi, belated video then today for the Sachs Dolmar 112, which is up on eBay. Came as part of a large workshop clearance. So just going to do a very quick video for the saw, showing how she runs. I'll also do a very quick walk around as well, because she's in lovely clean condition, although she's got a very slight well, a strange running characteristic which I haven't looked at. There's just have no time whatsoever, but a beautifully constructed semi-professional saw, 51 cc's, adjustable chain ruler. They have beautiful mechanisms on the chain brake, some of the smoothest chain brakes you will find on any saw. They're just incredible. So I'll show you how she starts and runs, and hopefully suitable for one of you guys out there. And any of you know I'm a huge West German or early German chainsaw manufacturing fan, and it's really interesting, the name Dolmar, because lots of early chainsaw manufacturers, somewhere in their name, they're either the names of or the surnames of the people that have invented the saw. So, you know, the famous ones, obviously Steel in 26, Andreas Steel, and so Dolmar started in 1927, but the name was derived. So the founder was a gentleman called Emil Loeb, and he developed a two-man chainsaw that weighed nearly 130 pounds in weight. And so they tested that saw in Germany, in the Thuringia forest, on, wait for that to go by, they tested that saw on Mount Dolmar, and that's where Dolmar's name comes from. That's on the mountain they tested it on, while using the first 125 pounds, so a two-man saw, obviously. And so they've got some amazing history. And then as you start going up through the years from there, if you get to 1947, you get to Jobber and Drubak in Norway. And then 1948 is really interesting. 1948, you have Hans and Heinz Emmerich, and they developed I think the engine they developed weighed about 35 or 36 pounds in weight, and because they'd saved so much weight over a traditional two-cycle engine, they adopted the name Solo, and that's where Solo Saw's name was born, because it was intended for, the idea was that one single person could start using their big chainsaws. And so I think they adopted the name change in, was that in 53 or something like that, for Solo. In fact, it was a prominent time for chainsaws from 47, 48 up to the late 50s, because then you had John Seard, which started making saws, okay, with the rackets, which is rocket, in the early 50s. But of course, John Seard had been around since 1830 something, 1834, 1832, or can't remember. But what's really interesting again about John Seard is John Seard was started in Sweden by a Scotsman, incredibly, who had left Scotland, gone to Sweden, and had started a business there. John Seard, incredible history. And then of course you have then a few years later, just after him, you have Husqvarna entering the chainsaw business in 1959 with the famous 90, and they've been trading since 1689. So amazing history. Right, sorry guys, I got off onto a tangent then. I love some of the old chainsaw engine history. So kill switch, choke, we'll see if this saw will run. Choke off. Okay guys, so that's exactly how she runs. Oiler working, obviously starts, but has a stutter and a misfire. Haven't done anything else to her, so that's exactly how she's arrived. And it's interesting, the naming. I think this is the 112, which is 51 cc's, and of course it's a very strange numbering system from Dolmar as well. It's a bit perplexing when you start to look at the numbers. So for instance, if you looked at the 114, you'd think, following up the numbers 111, 112, 114, then you'd think that the later numbers would be the later saws, but in fact I think the 114 was from almost identical saw, same displacement, 51.5 cc's or 51 cc's. I think they were from 77 to 82, and yet the 112 came out I think in 86. So almost identical in every respect, apart from colour change on the handle. Might be a slight carburettor difference, but pull start housing, exhaust, felling spike, side cover, everything else looks to be the same. So there she is. That's the Dolmar 112, and I'll very quickly take off the top cover. And show what it's like inside. Again, she's so clean, just it would be an amazing restoration project, I would think, for one of you out there, unless you've already have one, and be an amazing source of spare parts. So side cover, bit of paint missing, but so often are broken on the mag alloy, but in lovely condition. And the chain brake is, if I can show it. Hi guys, sorry, switched the camera off, activating the chain brake. So chain brake functioning as far as I can tell. Top lid air filter present and in really lovely condition. Again, no brakes, all the captive wasted screws are all present. And then the saw itself, in a chain guide plate present, the felling spike in lovely condition. So just looks beautifully original. And again, if I didn't already have multiple versions of this saw, I just would not be selling it. I would just be spending some time on her and just making her perfect. No brakes in the pull start housing, and in it, I obviously haven't taken it apart, and a crack in the exhaust, which will be a very simple braze, I would think, and it still seems to run not too loudly with it as it is. And all the way around, no fin damage on the underside. Really nice condition, just a beautiful vintage saw. AV mounts present, no, they don't appear to be, the handle is rigid. Okay guys, so there she is. That's the Dolmar 112. Any questions, please just ask, and I'll do my best to answer. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye for now.